Women who has messaged me or posted in my group that you want to fix your marriage. I'm talking to you. That you're trying to work on your marriage. I'm talking to you. Okay. So let's just be really clear about who I'm talking to here. Here's the problem with trying to fix or work on your marriage is that paradigm is dead. That paradigm of marriage doesn't work. It's why it is that you have maybe been trying to work on your marriage for decades, years, way more than months. The women that I work with, they're like decades, years for sure, because the paradigm doesn't work. Okay. The paradigm of fixing a marriage doesn't work. And today I was thinking about how it is that it's kind of like health, right? Health is not the absence of illness. That's not what health is, in my humble opinion. Health is about vitality. It's about aliveness. It's about full expression of who you are. It's about the highs and lows of what's happening in your body, right? Like pushing yourself with physical exertion and healing from an injury and taking in all different kinds of nourishment and fresh, clean water. And then what happens to your body when you don't have fresh, clean water or you don't drink enough, right? Like health is about the whole spectrum of being a vital, alive human, which includes illness, injury, difficulties with our bodies. Like who of us hasn't had difficulty sleeping or digesting or, what have you, if you have given birth to a child going through, that whole experience. That's all part of health, right? As a human being, it's part of being alive. It's part of wellness. It's really broad. It's not just if you don't hurt. There are plenty of people who have disease, dis-ease, right? Who have disease, who don't hurt, who would be called healthy, right? But they're not because they don't have vitality, full expression. Does that make sense to you? It's the same in marriage. And so trying to fix your marriage is coming at it with this idea or this belief that there's something that you need to like tweak and it makes it all better. It's the same with your body, right? It's not like some tweak. It's about wholeness. It's about being in full relationship with all of your faculties. And there's a lot happening here, right? And really getting to know yourself emotionally, physically, with your nourishment, with your food, for some of us spiritually, right? Like it's a real vast landscape. And it's the same in your marriage. It's not just about not having conflict, not fighting, which means you can't just, excuse me, there's something in my eye. You can't just fix this one thing. So we need a new paradigm. I live by a different paradigm of marriage and relationship, which is what I introduce the women who I mentor to. And that paradigm shifts the way that you show up with your marriage so that you're looking at it. Now, stay with me here. This is a little outside the box, okay? But you can handle it if you're here. Where you are recognizing that you have called in the person that you have called in your life. And this doesn't matter if it's a husband, a wife, a partner, a child, a parent, a coworker, any relationship that you are in. You've called that person in because they are the medicine that you need in order to see what is happening interior to you so that you can project what's happening on them. I know, crazy. Let me explain. The person that is agitating you, let's say your spouse, that feels like they're making you crazy, right? Feels like they're triggering you. They're triggering something in you that lives in you. You're walking around with anger, resentment, contempt, blame, whatever. You're walking around with it. They didn't give it to you. They didn't make you feel it. You're walking around with it. But they came in and they have the key to that door that opens up this thing that otherwise you would never have to look at, right? You would never have to look at it. So when I say they're the medicine, it's something to pull it out. It pulls it out. And when it pulls it out, when this person pulls out this thing, your difficulty setting a boundary, your challenge in saying no or saying yes, your difficulty in prioritizing your pleasure or your fun or your delight or your joy or your health, right? Or your sensuality. So they invite some part of you and you then are dealing with it like, oh crap, I liked it a lot better when I didn't have to look at this thing, when I didn't have to feel rage or contempt or frustration or annoyance. I would prefer not to feel that. But now it's out of the box, right? I go, oh my goodness. And so the person that you're in relationship with, that it feels like a tug of war, they are introducing you to a part of you so that you can be in full expression of who you are on this planet, so that you can get to know that part and then feel your feelings. What a cool thing. You get to feel the rage, the anger, the hurt, the suffering, the sadness, and process that. The difficulty comes because most of us aren't taught how to feel our feelings. We're taught how to blame other people for our feelings, how to feel bad about our feelings, how to stuff our feelings. It's like feeling hot potato, right? Somebody else take my feelings because I don't want to deal with it. And so when you have a paradigm shift and you recognize that your partner is pulling out something, you called this person in. And I know you called them in because you are with them and you continue to choose them for whatever reason. And I know you're maybe listening to this saying, but I don't want them, or I want them to leave, or I want this or that. Wonderful. They're calling you into a place of more alignment so that you can create a life without them, if that's your goal, or create a life in more alignment where you learn how to show up and speak your truth, right? That's what I mentor a lot of women to do, how it is that they create full alignment with who it is that they say they want to be, they believe that they are, but they're not showing up in that way. And number one, you got to get out of this paradigm. It's an old, dead paradigm that marriages need to be fixed, that your sex life needs to be fixed, that something is broken. Nothing is broken except for that old idea of marriage. That is broken. It doesn't work. If that was going to work, it would have worked by now. It doesn't work. So when we shift it and you can start seeing your partner, your child, your adult daughter, your parent that you're providing elder care for, right? Whatever the relationship is, as something that you've called in unconsciously to see a part of you that otherwise you wouldn't have the great opportunity to see. And then how is it that you come into vital relationship with that? How is it that you expand yourself, which means showing up fully? This is what I do with the women who I mentor. They're brave soldiers, warriors, angels in their lives, because rather than seeing that thing, that feeling and shoving it down, they're seeing that thing, that anger, that hurt around lack of boundaries, the place where they've silenced themselves. And they are practicing being with it in a new way. And when you show up differently with that, whatever it is that you've been sitting on, right? When you show up differently with it, stuff starts changing in your life, because you're not trying to fix your marriage. You're not doing it to fix anything. You're doing it in order to be a full expression of a healthy grown-ass woman. And a healthy grown-ass woman is willing to kind of spread her wings, right? And live heart forward, shoulders back. And it's why we do what we do, often in community, shoulder to shoulder with other women who are walking the same path, because it can be really scary to not do the old thing and push it down, or try to blame somebody, or say, well, I tried to fix this marriage and it didn't work. Start looking at it in a radically different way. And so I'm recording this on October 5th, 2021. If you're hearing it right about in that time frame, I am enrolling in a self-study course for another few days that I offer. And this is a self-paced course. It's the exact curriculum that I offer to the women who I mentor directly. I will put a link in and around this video if that opportunity is still available for you. And I'm offering a couple of bonuses if you sign up in the next couple of days, where you will have 2 live video group calls with me. And they're like this, where I'm on video and we're having a conversation with the other women who are in the program. And a big component of what we're doing is shifting the paradigm of your marriage, because I will tell you right now, when you shift how you see it, it's totally different, because you're not anymore in this tug of war, push-pull. So I hope that that's helpful. I didn't introduce myself. Many of you know who I am. I'm Jenny Glick. I'm a relationship mentor, and I guide you back home to your own inner knowing, your own inner authority, your own heart, so that you can start living a life that feels like a full expression of who you are, rather than doing this thing where you contract yourself and you sit on yourself and you're trying to fix something or someone or yourself. You're not broken. You're not broken. You're totally whole. It's probably that you're kind of like a hose and you have some knots in it. So we got to unlearn a lot of the things that you've learned in relationship. And as you unlearn that and you untangle and untwist, then your full potency can come out into the world. And then you can have an experience of a healthy relationship. Healthy does not mean that you don't have conflict, just like in your body. Health doesn't mean that you don't have pain or you don't have discomfort. Yeah, you have those things. Health is about being in relationship with all of the parts of you, right? All of the parts of your relationship with another person. And it starts with you having a relationship with yourself. So drop any comments if you're watching this on the replay, #replay. Comments, questions are always welcomed here. Thank you so much for being in this space. I appreciate you. Take good care.